Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Slow English Stories. I am Leo, and I'm so happy you're here. Do you ever feel like your mind is too loud? Like there are too many thoughts running around, and you just can't stop them? Today, I have a very special story for you about a young man who was losing everything because he couldn't find silence. If you stay until the end, you will learn the secret to emptying your mind and finding true focus. Let's begin. The heavy hammer fell with a loud clang, which is a ringing sound like metal hitting metal, but the glowing iron did not shape. Instead, it bent and broke. Kaelen wiped the sweat from his forehead, but his hands were shaking. In the corner of the dark, smoky workshop, his master was watching him with a cold, disappointed look. Here, we use the past continuous, was plus watching, to describe an action that was happening at that exact moment in the past. The air smelled of burnt coal and salt from the nearby sea. Kalen's heart was racing. If he failed one more time, he would be kicked out of the forge, which is the blacksmith's workshop, forever. His mind was not on the iron. It was a noisy cage of worries. The word noisy usually means a loud sound, but here it means his mind was full of too many distracting thoughts. He was trapped by thoughts of tomorrow and regrets from yesterday. Kalen's master, a large man whose voice was like rolling thunder, finally moved. He put his massive hand on Kalen's shaking shoulder, and for a second, the storm inside Kalen's head ceased. This new word, ceased, means that something stopped completely. His mind was quiet, but only because he was afraid of what his master would say next. The master looked at the ruined iron, then at Kaelen. "You are trying to fight the metal," the master said gently. He handed Kaelen an old, loosely woven basket. You know a basket. It's a container made of twisted wood pieces, often used for carrying things. "Go to the beach," the master ordered. "Fill this with dry sand. Carry it back through the busy market. But here is the challenge. While you walk, you must listen to every sound. If one grain of sand falls, you will not work here again." Kaelen was puzzled, which means he was confused because he did not understand why the master gave him this strange task. How could he carry sand in a basket full of holes? And while he was worrying about the sand, he had to listen? The word while is important here. It connects two actions happening at the exact same time. He had to carry the sand while he was listening to the sounds. He thought, "This is impossible." Impossible means something that cannot be done. But the master's eyes were serious. Kaelen had to try. He ran to the coast. The warm air smelled of salt and dry seaweed. We use the verb smell, or smelled in the past tense, to describe the aroma that our nose detects. The salty smell was everywhere. Kaelen scooped the fine, white sand into the basket. Immediately, thin lines of sand began to pour from the bottom. Kaelen was frantic. This is a strong word to describe being wild with fear or worry. He tried to stop the sand with his hands, but more fell. His heart was a drum again. If he failed this, he had nowhere to go. Kaelen entered the bustling market. The word bustling describes a place that is full of energy and many people moving around. The air was thick with the scent of roasted coffee and sharp spices. A scent is a pleasant smell. He felt the air grow warmer than the cool sea breeze. Here, I used a comparative adjective, warm plus to compare the heat of the market to the beach. He tried to listen to the sounds as his master ordered. He heard a merchant shouting about fresh fish and the rhythmic beat of a street drummer. Rhythmic means a sound that repeats in a regular pattern. But Kaelen was distracted, which means his mind was pulled away from what he was doing. He kept looking down at the sand. It was flowing out like a tiny golden river. He thought, "I must stop the sand." And because he was worrying, he could not hear the birds or the wind. We use could not to show that he lacked the ability to do something in the past. The more he worried, the faster the sand fell. His mind was so cluttered, which means messy and full of too many things, that he almost tripped over a small dog. He was failing. The basket was becoming light. He felt a deep panic. Panic is a sudden, strong feeling of fear that prevents you from thinking clearly. He realized that if he kept watching the sand, he would hear nothing. If he heard nothing, he would lose his job. He stopped in the middle of the crowd and closed his eyes. Suddenly, Kaelen stopped trying to save the sand. He let it go. He emptied his mind of the fear of being kicked out. To empty something means to remove everything inside it. He used to worry about the future, but now he just listened. The grammar used to describes a habit or state that happened in the past but does not happen now. He heard the whisper of the silk clothes, the clinking of coins, and even the soft breathing of the people around him. He became a mirror, reflecting everything but holding on to nothing. When he finally reached the forge, the sun was setting, painting the sky in vibrant orange and purple. Vibrant means very bright and full of life. Kaelen walked to his master and handed him the basket. It was completely empty. Not a single grain of sand was left. Kaelen stood there, silent and calm. His master looked at the empty basket and then into Kaelen's eyes, which were now steady, meaning firm and not shaking. The master smiled, and his face glowed in the orange firelight of the forge. To glow means to give out a steady light. Kaelen expected to be scolded, which means to be spoken to angrily because you did something wrong. But instead, the master nodded. To nod means to move your head up and down to say yes or to show you agree. "Master?" Kaelen whispered, his voice trembling. Trembling is a great word for when your voice or body shakes slightly because you are nervous or tired. "I failed. The basket is empty. I could not save the sand." The master laughed, a warm sound that filled the room. "Kaelen, I did not want the sand," he said. "I wanted you to find the silence. If you are always watching the sand, you cannot see the road." This is a first conditional sentence. If plus present simple plus will/can. We use it to talk about a real possibility in the future. The master picked up a new piece of iron. It was rough and cold. Rough means having an uneven or bumpy surface, not smooth. He put it into the fire. "When your mind was full of worry, you were like a broken tool," the master explained. "But when you let the sand go, you became aware of everything." To be aware means to know or notice that something is happening. "Now," the master said, "pick up the hammer. Do not think about the iron. Just be the hammer." Kaelen took the hammer. He felt the weight of it, but his mind was as empty and quiet as the basket. He hit the glowing metal. Clang! The sound was perfect. The iron did not break. It shaped beautifully under his hand. He was successful at last. Successful means achieving the result you wanted. He realized that to do his best work, he had to clear his mind of the noise of the past and the smoke of the future. And that is the end of our story today. Kaelen learned that a quiet mind is the most powerful tool you can own. I hope this story helped you feel a little more peaceful and helped you learn some new English words too. Before you go, I have a small task for you. In the comments below, try to use the word empty or busy in a sentence about your own day. I will read every single one. If you enjoyed this lesson, please hit the like button and subscribe to Slow English Stories. It really helps our channel grow so we can keep making stories for you. Thank you for watching, and remember, keep your mind clear and your heart open. I'm Leo, and I'll see you in the next story. Bye-bye.